Who is taking the stage?
I think let me just go.
Okay.
At first, I came to understand the usefulness of SOC in this day and age where we live in. I came to understand the reason why I chose the right thing to go for SOC
Mm-hmm.
for cybersecurity in this day and age. What am I going to use now? The importance of SOC in this time,
Mm.
because a lot of people are developing ways to destroy companies, destroy people's image,
Mm-hmm.
and steal from people.
Mm-hmm.
And I came to understand the usefulness where my place is
Mm-hmm.
this in this day and time,
Mm-hmm.
and certifications I can do to improve myself
Mm-hmm.
in this field, and how I can go from levels to levels in this field,
Mm-hmm.
how I can become better in this field.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually gave me hunger to want to know more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This course actually gave me hunger to want to know more about it and how you can stop and be a source of help to
Yes.
people that need this kind of services. So
Exactly.
that's what I can say.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. Anyone else wants to share what he got from the week?
Hello.
Yes. Go ahead, Chinan.
Okay. Good morning.
Yeah.
I was not able to like fully watch the SOC program, but from where I could watch, I could understand that SOC is really really important in the south every time. So SOC operators are really needed, and I got to understand the importance of the infrastructure team, the IT team in the SOC operation, where you need to work with software engineers and other people, because you cannot work alone in this SOC system. You cannot work alone in this security system. So you need teams. So that's what I get to understand
Yeah.
from my own part.
Yes. Thank you
So
very
it's just
much.
a very large something that you need to understand and need to put
Yeah.
seriousness in it.
Now,
It's not
you
something
get
that you can learn in a day or in a month's time.
exactly.
to be very honest though. So that's just my own opinion. Thank you.
So, can you hear me? I hope my mic is off. Can anyone hear me?
Hello, I'm done. Oh.
Okay. I'm trying to talk. I wanted to know whether anybody can hear me. Can anyone hear
Can
me?
anyone hear me? Yes, we can hear you.
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Okay.
So, the
So,
I don't
the,
want to. Let me remove
I don't
the
want to, let me remove the
echo. Just a minute.
echo. Just a minute.
Exit. So while my second screen is coming up, you could see that cybersecurity is not something into and say I'm doing cybersecurity. You need to know exactly what aspect of cybersecurity you are in. What are you solving? Which area are you determined to go in? Team is working in sync with the IT, the sales, the IT, the accountant with the IT. So now inside that IT, we when the full stack guys, the engineers, when they work, most of them work with a lot of programming languages to ensure that they develop good systems. Python, Java, .NET, C++, all those stuff. Now, inside the information technology guys, the IT infrastructure guys coming, where you see the system engineers, the network engineers, the database engineers. Now, underneath these particular guys, you now find the IT security. Some people call it the infosec. the information security guys. Now, these guys work with IAM tools, endpoint security tools, vulnerability assessment, and all these things from this IT security jobs. SOC people work in all these places too. A SOC person can work in the IAM, the endpoint security, vulnerability assessment, network security, down also into their own area, which is where you find the SOC analysts that they use same SOAR and threat intel. So if you do a little research on what is same I told you guys is a security information event management tools. There are tools under the same. SOAR also and also threat intel. So this is a bird's eye view of how the market is and where SOC is and where SOC functions in today. So Anand made reference to an engineer who, even though he's a civil engineer, he has prior understanding or somewhat kind of understanding between the architect, the mason guy, the tile worker, the plumber, electrician, painter, even the guy that is doing the wiring and whatever. So he has a little idea of what they do. So they won't just confuse him in the field. There is a quote that I've always known to be wrong, only that few months ago I had to see the full meaning. He says, "Jack of all trades is a master of none, master of none." So when they taught us that, when I heard it for the first time, I was trying to, flow with it. But when I got to hear the ending part of that quote, which says, "Jack of all trades is a master of none, but often better than a master of one," because this master of many trades can be able to work and coordinate all these other people. Those are the people that fall in the places of managers, what's it called? Board of directors, managers, and all those top parts. So in this scenario, this is the same thing that happens to the cybersecurity guys, where as a cybersecurity person, you or a SOC analyst, you should be able to have an idea of how every other person around you works. At least the barest minimum of knowledge, you should be able to get that knowledge, and that is where your continuous studies comes in. Yeah, it wouldn't break a bone if you find a program that, or if you know how to write a program that runs in 2 lines or 3 lines. With that program, if you run a program, write a computer program that runs in 3 lines, just a 3 line or 5 line sentence program, it will give you an enlightenment of, oh, so computer programs works in a way that if I touch this or if I key in this, it will give me this. So it opens up your mind more into the IT world, so far as you're in the IT world. So why SOC jobs are in demand? The SOC person or who is working in cybersecurity, not just making of the noise on the internet, or you have to have at least little knowledge on all these stuff. And it's very simple. Little here, little here, little here, you get information of what they are selling. Just like somebody that is in the market. Yes, you should also know what your neighbor is selling, just in case if market drop, make you know how to update your own. So why are sub jobs in demand? Why are they in demand? If you go online today, not just online, even in fact, as it stands today, USA is still fighting the battle of what's it called, cybersecurity battle with other countries. Most times you find out that Asia countries and Arab countries that are trying to infiltrate the airspace. Nigeria, that one is normal. People try to infiltrate each other almost on a daily basis.
Nigeria is vulnerable.
Yes, yeah. In the on how to start cybersecurity, I always tell people starting cybersecurity uh, is better you go through a boot camp that is going to give you guidance. From there, they already have a prepared curriculum that works. Just like here, we have a curriculum that works, that from here you flow in into the right path. So YouTube is good, but YouTube gives you 1,001 good information that is not organized. Yeah. So that is exactly what people face when they go into the open space for cybersecurity. And of course, cybersecurity is not the same as hacking, but hacking is found in one of the skills in cybersecurity. But when people hear cybersecurity, they think it's hacking. But cybersecurity is not hacking. Like you already know, we've taken this is our second week and we are still dealing with basics. See, there's no hacking yet. That we are still dealing with basics. Okay.
Did you see that, sir?
Yes, I'm seeing that the call will end in 15 minutes.
15 minutes, yes.
Once the time up, we'll go get a coffee break. Then I will share the next link. We join back again.
Okay.
So, why is SOC about the best domain in cybersecurity as of today? Now, I like referring this to the certification first. SOC level certification is about the lowest in price. The exams that people are going to write at the end of your program, the fifth week, is free for one sitting. If you pass it from there, glory be to God. You have your international certificate. If you don't pass it, you will receipt if you want, but that receipting is where you now know the cost of the exam, which is $300, either 299 or thereabout. But when all these things are happening, for going through the ISC2 training, you become an alumni with them because you will get the mock in-house certificate with them also, which makes you a recognizable body with the international community. Now, it is expected that most times when people start working, that's when they could make the funds to fund their certification because believe you me, certification in cybersecurity is very costly. But when you get the job of your dreams, when you get that job, you find out that maybe in 1 month you could be able to pay for as many certificates as you want. So the domain is only evolving since 2015. 63% of cybersecurity jobs or opportunities currently are in security operations center, and also it has a low barrier entry. Now, also there are certifications that are being released to enable people to go through it. Now, as of the time this material was being done, ISC2 was not yet in existence, I think. But ISC2 came, I heard about ISC2 last year. That's when we started adding people to do it and they've been successful. Right? Now, also, he went about to talk about the different IT teams in a company, how they interact with each other, and the tools which they do work with. Made mention of the systems team, the network team, the endpoint security guys, the network security team, information security, security operations center, which is SOC, application development team, the database, IT help desk. This IT help desk is just like a support staff, but in much bigger organizations, even this support staff does a lot of work, has to have good idea of how uh, the systems operate. Okay. Now he also went ahead to pieces down all these teams to let you know what they do. The system teams from server team guys, what they do is to provide the systems. They can go and buy and okay when there is provision of them, they'll bring them and they set it up. They install the operating systems and all the apps that were being done. Few years ago, when you get a system, most times you carry your system to where they will load, or you bring somebody that will come and load the applications for you. It also happened in phones where if you want music, if you want stuff, you go to the guys on the market, let them download stuff and put stuff for you. But uh, technology has gone up in such a way that the systems, laptop you are buying now, Microsoft will all most of the basic applications you need will already be installed in them. The ones that you need that are not installed, you could just go online and go to Google and find them and download for yourself. But in bigger organizations, those installations are done under an environment that helps the owners of the system to be able to manage the usage from back end. So the network guys, those are the ones that ensure that the network in the system or in the environment is working very well. And of course, they make use of routers, switches, access point, network cables, their Wi-Fi's in the way depending on the system that we are talking about. So the picture here is an elaborate design of how extensive network can be. See, this is just a picture. Most times, the picture might also be confusing. Now, the network side of cybersecurity, for example, this particular networking, there's a part of cybersecurity that deals with networking and networking entirely, and it is as big as it can be. So I don't know whether I told you guys, someone was complaining last 2 weeks that he went for practical class and they started practical beginners class, cybersecurity beginners class, and this is where they're starting for him, networking. Started calculating the mathematics in networking, these subnet mask, these that IP classes, which from my own understanding on how teaching goes, you should have a basic understanding of what the system is before going to calculate the parameters around. So ahead in your journey, you will meet networking as a course on its own. Maybe on YouTube, you take the YouTube class, follow as much. So why another advantage of being in this group is when you go to YouTube and you study stuffs and they give you hard time to understand, you are free to bring them back to the group. Send it. If you don't send it to me directly, you could just send it to the group, and I will help you to break it down. Uh, if it is the one that I cannot break down, I'll get help so that we all can benefit from it. So the endpoint security, guys, endpoint security actually means protecting endpoints in systems. For example, every system has an access way that it talks to the network, it talks to the internet. So all those access ways, those endpoints need to be protected. So these guys, the endpoint security teams, what they do is they're protecting endpoints in the network, for example, user machines or servers, and they install, configure, and maintain those endpoints. They ensure that uh, those parts, those doors are managed and securely put in place. For example, antivirus does it for the normal system that's on the lower scale. Host firewall also does it too. Web host firewall, which protects for emails. We have host intrusion. This host intrusion is when somebody wants to open your door by force, you get an alert. It is host intrusion. We also have host intrusion prevention system and host intrusion detection system. Detection system will detect it, while prevention system will prevent the person from first opening your house or entering your system without permission. We have the disk encryption guys, the people who are uh, experienced in data loss prevention, and also, like I said, endpoint detection and response team. He also made mention of this network security team. Those network that we saw back there, yeah, that they use to set up our stuff, it has to also be secure. See, the firewall, intrusion prevention, web gateway, email gateway, wireless security. If you've noticed recently, I don't know whether you've noticed it, there are some emails that if you want to send a picture or a document to them, it will not go through. It will bounce back. There are some, if you want to reply a mail to them, you cannot be able to reply a mail to them, especially some big institutions. They put preventive measures in all those parts so that they will limit. What they are trying to do is reduce. So it's better they stop it from coming in the first place. When you're able to stop it from coming in, you are reducing the attack to a limited level. So the infosec team is where you see the guys that conduct the regular audits. Yeah, I like this part especially too, the GRC part. They also conduct user awareness training, drafting security policies, and ensuring that companies and systems they adapt to these policies that are being brought out. So you could also take out your time, maybe your free time, to read about the GRC in cybersecurity. So these parts, there are some people that they will just focus here, especially people that don't have much interest in bigger stuff in cybersecurity. They just focus in in this GRC. They'll add it to their profession or their career. You see someone that is a product manager, or someone that is a banker, or someone that is working as an what's it called, accountant, chartered accountant. You should have also a good knowledge of GRC, because as a chartered accountant, nobody is expecting you to come and start configuring systems, but they will expect you to have some knowledge about the policies and the systems that are working and how to work as a cybersecurity personnel. Yeah. So those who are not looking at doing a long time, hard stuffs in cybersecurity, focus on GRC. You'll get a good what's it called, recommendations from there. So the vulnerability assessment team, guys, these are guys that automate and ensure that the stuffs in our systems are always up to date. Most times you see that your phone will send you alert to update your software.
Update.
Yes. So most people, because of data, they will not want to update their software. They say this people want to chop my data, but in the real sense, it is a security protocol whereby probably they found out, they scanned their database and found out that is a loophole. So trying to fix that loophole, what they do is they'll write the code, then send you an automate mail so that you can use your hand and update the software. Once you update it, it works. Some systems too, they do it without your knowledge. Maybe by the time you, like WhatsApp, most times you set WhatsApp to update in the midnight. Some systems, by the time you come up in the next morning, as you want to download or open the application, you will see update. It will take you to Play Store to update it. So the vulnerability assessment teams, they take care of all this to ensure that systems also stay secure. So identity and access management team, these guys, their work in the sphere, in the system is to, they are the ones that create users administration portals. So for example, they work with tools like some work with AWS, some work with Google. So their skill is especially to create accounts for users. This identity and access management team, for every application that makes use of users, these guys will always be there, because they create these accounts, they manage it, and they also grant access to who that needs it. Now, the Security Operations Center guys. So we have 2 minutes to time out. Let's take a short break and get back with the next. So the Security Operations Center guys, we already know, these are our people. These are the people that we look up to. They monitor, detect, investigate, and respond to cyber threats, and they work with SME of other teams to remediate the security incident. See, they make use of tools like SIM, SOA, threat intelligence tools, and also analysis tools. Now, the SOC, central to organization security. Over the years, SOC has had what's it called? They've had foot in this security space and in the IT space, in such a way that they have now become like security operations center. They've now become like a central where the system is talking to the SOC, the network is talking to the SOC, endpoint security guys talking to the SOC, network security talking to the SOC, vulnerability guys talking to you, people that are giving you access to accounts, they talk to the SOC, the help desk talk to the SOC, even application developers, they also talk to us. So we find ourselves in the middle of all these systems, and that was what helped the evolution of SOC to go. So I like this particular part because a bit of it showed what security and cybersecurity was like in years like 2008 to 2010. So we found out that Stuxnet was about the first cyber security weapon that was designed. And history has it that it was designed to bring down Iran's nuclear power plant. Now, I want you to have a bigger understanding of how dangerous or how important cybersecurity is to a nation, not just a company or a business. You see, a country needed to destroy or bring down another country's nuclear plant. The easiest way to go in, I know they must have analyzed, maybe let them throw bomb, maybe, but when you find out that one of the easiest and best ways to do this, they figured out that it was through a cybersecurity attack, and it was carried out. Also, one of the biggest and major cyber attacks that has happened in the past, we had Sony company. We had that in 2014, a group which identified itself by name Guardians of Peace. They leaked a release of confidential data from Sony Studios. The Yahoo guys has also undergone some attack. I think Yahoo had the biggest attack of the century. There are 3 billion of its users were impacted. You know now, few years ago, almost everybody has a Yahoo mail, yahoo.com, Yahoo mail, Yahoo mail. So it was now as technology is coming up, people now start diversing into other types of mail. But Yahoo had a very great share in the email market. So when they were hit by a cybersecurity attack in January 2014, almost 3 billion of its user base were impacted. Visa guys, the guys in charge of the MasterCard and ATM stuff, they also got their own hit, affecting up to 10 million credit cards. And these are like 10 million customers. Subway, Target, and why these guys were listed is that they are up there, so people can relate more with them. But underground, underground, small businesses and medium scale businesses, they go through cyber attack almost on a regular basis. Record also has it that whenever small businesses go through cyber attack, in less than 3 to 4 months, they shut down because most times they cannot be able to um, replace or fix back what's in time. So that time period, market moves ahead of them. Their competitors takes over from them. So you could now have an idea of what the bad people or even other competitors can do to ensure that they take out another competitor out of business. So the question, who is now safe in the internet? Like I told you for last week, everybody is vulnerable to attack, but the difference is your attacking surface. Is he loose? If your attacking surface is hard, when they try, they don't waste time on your side. They'll go to another place. Unless you are being specifically targeted, then they will design a vulnerable, they will design a malware or a payload specifically for you. For example, that Iran's own was designed specifically for Iran. Recap again, what we are doing is just to digest the work you people did within the week from Anand Guru on SOC environment. So he also made mention of created this analogy of why people should treat security as especially when you're dealing when your company or your business is dealing with people's information. why you should take it as very, very important aspect. He cited example with the bike guys and the helmets and their solution. So we all know that most people don't like wearing helmets. That's why the FRC guys, or not FRC, the security guys that are always on the road to check for helmets are there. And that is also what we have in cybersecurity. So we have people who ensure that companies that are handling data are they enforce those companies to ensure that those policies, those data protection policies are put into place. So the regulatory compliances and industry best practices. If you are handling sensitive information of human beings, you must be able to put into place those policies. And you see, that's why I told you that some people can decide to just stay in the GRC sector of cybersecurity and time it up with their career. They are in the GRC sector. They are good with policies and regulatory compliances. Or they will just stay there, and they will earn big too in the industry because they are important so far as cybersecurity and the environment is in place. So he was just trying to list out some of the companies and the companies that have built tools that help SOC people work and do their work perfectly. So IBM, McAfee guys, I think most people can relate to McAfee antivirus. Yes. So they've built their own SIM, which is Nitro Security. IBM has one lab, Total Security, and Splunk has Splunk Enterprise. Then I also added Wazoo as one of the SIM because if you're working as a security analyst level one, you'll be using Wazoo and Splunk interchangeably. So he went ahead to let us know that he painted a picture of what the Security Operations Center normally looks like. So people stay up and they watch events happening in a system to ensure that things go according. Then he made a very interesting analogy why SOCs are important also. He made mention of these sectors when we watch in the medieval military times. You have the guys that are in the arrow, the guys that are using the bow, the guys that are using the spear, the horses guys, and also the ones on the big elephant. So they represent the series of different kinds of security protocols that are in place in those days. While all those guys are there, there is also a watchtower guard who stays on the watchtower to see the threat coming afar. He has a responsibility to raise the alarm. Normally, they will have a bell there. Once they see the enemy coming from far, they will ring the bell so that the security guys in the house inside the city will get alerted and they will be much better prepared to wage war against the security than when there is no person on the tower. So that guy on the tower signifies the presence of the SOC guys. We stand on the tower to look out for the threats that are coming from far, and we push it down to we raise an alarm to it. So also had to go down to break it down to show the war guys look at the tools that they use. Why the SOC guys, we have the endpoint security guys, they use the antivirus, HIPS, host firewall, etc. The network security guys, the things that they use, vulnerability assessment guys, the IAM guys, the stuff, the tools that they use. Like I also said earlier, most of us might not be willing to go down deep into cybersecurity. Some might just want to have the basic understanding, probably go into GREC. But the people that are going down as a career in cybersecurity, possibly to work as a SOC level one analyst or level two to go through the SOC, they will have to have a good understanding slowly on these tools, one after the other. Cybersecurity is a craft. It's a craft where you master the tool. You master the tools one after the other before going into the next. Because the more you are mastering the tools, the more relevant you are in that area. So the SOC guys, they use the same tools, the SOA tools, the threat intelligence tools, and the threat hunting tools. So elaborating more on SOC, they are the first line of defense, just like we've already noticed. They are the eyes and the ears of the organization security, and also generally they monitor, detect, investigate, and respond to cyber threats. Okay. It will also be nice to make mention that SOC analysts on the list are entitled to at least 30,000 to 40,000 per year as salary. 30,000 to 40,000 per year. And I've come in contact with a senior officer who does up to 150 to 200,000 as his take home in a year. So if you are working here in Nigeria and
Is that a total take home or just basic?
so total take home in a year, I'm talking of $30,000.
Dollars.
Yeah, it's in USD. Sorry, it's in USD that I'm talking of. So a level one SOC analyst who is doing 30,000 USD in a year. When we go ahead to break it down, we are looking at, if I'm using today's rate, which is 1,600. I know it's more than 1,600, but when we do it up against 30,000, we are looking at 48 million. And when you share it down under 12 months, so the person is entitled to roughly 4 million every month if you're working remotely down from here. So as level one analyst. So like I said, I've met a senior colleague who does as big as 200,000, but he doesn't work remotely. He's actually in USA. He's a Nigerian from Enugu. He's a Nigerian. He's the owner. He's the CEO of Each One Teach One Tech. If you remember in our week one, I told you I was telling you the partners, telling us the partners that sponsor this program. So he's one of the partners. So his take home is roughly more than around that area because he's not just an analyst, he's also a manager. So you can understand his level. So we are when we take his salary scale as a point of discussion, when you match it against 12 months, that's around 16,000 something every month. Now, somebody taking 16,000 every month, when you match it against our 1,600 naira here, you are looking at 25 million or 25 million 600 every month. These things are not joke, they are realistic. So, if the least office here, when you're working remotely here, should be around that 30, there are some people I know that even if they don't get 30, they get 15,000 15,000 a year in Nigeria. They don't have any reason to go abroad. They will just relax because 15,000 by 1,600 is 24 million. Most people can appreciate 24 million, which is 2 million a year. You can count how many companies in Nigeria that pays currently in this economy that will be willing to pay you 2 million a month. Sorry. So you find out that the industry is yet juicy and also demanding. Now, these salary ranges also, they are not just tied to uh, the people that are doing the big um, programming work. It's even the GRC guys. Some GRC guys do up to 50,000 a year, some 60, some 40, some 70. Some managerial guys too. Some GRC guys also work as the management because when you get to know these policies that cybersecurity works around policies because there are who knows his onions on the GRC can be doing up to 60, 70, 80, 90,000 a year. So it is an industry that is very rich, and I also encourage us, like I said earlier, if you have people that, or if you have, people who want to go into this path, they good and the better way, you could send them directly to us. We also train communities and do stuffs for programs that people that in bunch, not just one. So let's go ahead. So he went down to analyze what the SOC team does. We already know that they monitor, they analyze, they decide if the attack is legitimate or bad. If it is good or if it is just a common error, they neglect it. If it is bad, they push it down and stress it down to the remaining of the security teams. So those are basically what the SOC guys do. So now entering the roles in SOC, we have the people, the process, and the technology. When you're talking about the building blocks in SOC, the people, the processes, and the technology. Okay, see why there is no way you can just automate SOC. You can't automate SOC. You can automate the technology. You can at least, in a very minimal way, automate the process, but you can't automate the people. There has to be human beings there to do the job. So we also listed out the three. Level one security analysts, they are down. Level two, level three, then we get to stock manager. Even above the stock manager, we also have people that are ahead of him. So we have the threat intelligence guy, threat hunter, forensic investigator, incident handler, IR automation engineer, red team specialist, etc. Now, presently where I am being exposed to most of these skills that are here while I am also working in a SOC environment. Also trying to move up to the next ladder because the envelopes are bigger above the scale. Of course, we all know. So the level one guys, they are the ones on the screen 247, looking at raising tickets, etc. Now, level one SOC analyst program. By the time, as of March this year, one of our partners was doing it for $25 a month. So he hosted a bootcamp for $25 a month. After the batch finished, the next was $100. As I'm telling you today now, he's doing on for $600 a month for 6 months for level one analyst program. So they go through trainings on how to work as a SOC analyst, how to work on alerts, how to raise tickets and validate incidents, how to follow up on incident response, drafting shift and handover, assisting the L2 and level 2 and level 3 guys and reporting. And also equipping the learners on how to go through their examination also. So I just have to bring that up. So the level 2 analyst guys also, they go through higher stuffs than the L1. So if you had gone through it just like I told you guys to do, you find out that the jobs are how do I say they are as much as the role is. The more your role is, the more you could take, whether it's managerial level or like the SOC manager. He supervises the team, oversees the activities that happen in the SOC team, and most times also he relates with the vendor management, the people that are going to bring in the devices to connect. There was an attack that happened currently, I think last year, my fellow people. That attack was carried through it. They went through the AC. It was a cyber attack. They went through the AC. So who can tell me how that was possible? Maybe just try to crack your brain a bit. How can an attack be carried on or carried out through an AC? So the other guys that are inside the SOC, these are examples of jobs that people can do while in a SOC environment. The guys that are good in programming and coding, they have their place. Incident handlers, forensic specialists, red team specialists. Red team specialists, anybody that is good in programming and coding will be good here. because they continuously scan for and to identify weaknesses in system. They launch small scale attacks. So the red team specialists can be hired to run an attack on a system, on a potential system. So the company will hire them to run the attack so that they can see, please attack us and let us know which areas we are vulnerable to so that we can be able to fix them up. They earn a lot of cash too. The automation engineer guys, then we now move into the SOC technologies. This is an introduction to the technologies used in SOC. The same, the threat intelligence, the analysis tools, and the SOA. We've known the same to be security information and event management tools. So what they do is they take those logs that we saw and pass them through the same system, and they come out in form that we can be able to understand and see them. For example, the analysis we did earlier, where someone is trying to log into an account repeatedly, what lets you to or lets us to see these systems or these stuffs earlier is when we're using a same tool, we'll be able to see it and also set instances. For example, we say that if there are failed attempts over 5 times in the space of 1 minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 10 minutes, please shut down the or lock the account till the real owner calls. So all those kind of stuff too are being set as a security. So the logs are sent to SIM, and the possible attack force, they will note whether it is the SIM will sieve it out and show us the ones that are attacks and the ones that are bad. Then it will get it in the SOC room. The SOC analyst will bring it down and follow a playbook. There is always like guidelines. When we are working in SOC, they will give you guidelines on how to treat issues. Then you follow those guidelines. If it is false alarm, you drop it, you close the ticket. If it's a real attack, you forward it down. So we'll also look at threat intelligence. The people that are also, just like the World Health Organizations, that are always investigating on a world-class level to know diseases that are inbound to happen in a country or in a particular area. So we also have some entities in cybersecurity who ensure that they will give us first-hand information about threats. So the links to find them out also are in the documents, in the material that we use. So generally the SOC, I believe we must have had a good understanding about the SOC environment. At least you could be able to basically sit someone down and tell the person what the SOC is and how it works and who is working where, what the person can do. Analysis and tools. These are some of the tools used in analysis in the SOC environment. Not just SOC environment, other cybersecurity environments too. They also use some of these tools that are here. Now, SOA means security orchestration, automation, and response. Okay. So what do they do? It's like a software solution that enables security teams to integrate and coordinate separate security tools together so that they can automate repetitive tasks and streamline incidents and threat response workflows. So when you go into SOC programs, you will have practical knowledge of all these SOC materials and all these SOC terminologies. But I believe we've covered the basics of it and how they affect with each other. Okay, the last part is the types of SOC. We have in-house, outsourced, and hybrid. For example, if a company has or employs SOC guys and they are good to go, they can become the in-house SOC analyst of the company. So they can build the SOC in-house and maintain it. But if they don't have such expertise, what they do is they can outsource it. For example, look for companies that run SOC. They will pay them so that those people will be watching their systems 247. Then hybrid is you are paying for external sub companies to watch your systems. You also have cybersecurity staff who also do almost the same kind of work in-house too. So depending on the budget of the company or the organization, that's when they decide whether it's in-house or outsourced or hybrid. So I think that's the last part of the program for today, and I believe we've done um, justice to this. MSSP means Managed Security Service Provider. So those are the outsourced team, outsourced SOC. When you outsource the SOC, the company that is giving it to you, they are called MSSP, the Managed Security Service Providers. Just like we have internet providers, MTN, then they give us the internet. So these guys too, they can watch the systems for companies and organizations. So I believe that's the end of the class today. We've had a very long 1 hour plus class. Next week, this week we are entering, you are going to register for ISC2 training modules so that I expect that in two weeks, if you are good to go, 2 weeks you are done with it, and you should already have some of your badges ready and also ready to take your exams. If you don't want to take the exam, there's no problem. You just have the in-house mock certificates. You use it
Me, I want to take the exam, so sir, please.
and no problem. But
So
by the time,
just state it.
yes. So once I will give you guys link on how to register it. Then also, if you have issues on registering, you will let me know. But please be very careful when registering. The details you are going to put, ensure that they are original details because your certificate is going to bear that name. The exam center is going to be used, is going to be selected based on your location, where you are. If you are in Kaduna and you are in a state or in a community in Kaduna, they are going to look for CBT center that is closest to you, where you're going to take the exam. When I took my own, I stay in Aja. They gave me a center in Lekki, so I just took bus, entered Lekki, entered one of the estates where the CBT center is, and I took mine there. So this week, that's what we are going to do. The ISC2 as training is short and precise too. You'll be able to understand it, but don't be deceived by how short and precise it is. Try to understand the storyline. Try to understand the whole thing because when you understand it, when the questions come, you will be able to know where the questions are coming in from. Also, before we wrap up, when you are starting the ISC2 training, you're going to take a short mock exam, and that mock exam is just to um, know how much you know about cybersecurity. It's not going to affect your certificate. It's not going to affect anything. It's just like let's test you. For example, you are coming in. Let's test you and see what you know. So then, after that test, when you now go through the whole training, you will now have to write the outgoing mock, which will be expected that whatever you scored in the beginning, you should already now know more and score higher. So I think that's about it. And we'll see in the class and within the week. Always remember if you have any challenge, if you have any questions within the week, let me know. Send it in the group or send it to my personal DM. I will reply you.